Hello and welcome to the next video where we're going to cover the moves that have taken place in the 5 Tier 1 LL Esports regions. We have 4 teams that made some moves, 3 of them essentially announcing who's going to be on their roster, and 1 making a subtraction. So, the official move, Shopify Rebellion have signed Fudge, Contracts, and Palafox to the top side and mid lane of the Rift. So Fudge joins from C9. We went over his stats last week, but for those that didn't catch it, 3.5 KDA, 54.1 KP, 8.6 CS per minute in spring of last year. He's a more carry-oriented finesse sort of top laner, not necessarily a guy that you can expect playing weak side tank. High resource, hence negative 0.4 share differential. Actually gave less than he received. 1.19 damage divided by gold at 15 minutes. Only up 45 gold, 45 CS. 45 CS would be a shit ton. 45 gold, 45 XP. So all these resources are coming in the mid to late game because in the early game he's not actually opening up that much of an advantage. 2.31 vision efficiency, 4 solo kills, 11 champions, 23 games. One of the better tops, I would say, in the LCS, but also pretty meta dependent, one dimensional. In that same vein, a team has to kind of play around Fudge, not Fudge playing around his team. Contracts, Palafox joined from NRG. Contracts, of course, 3 KDA, 76.3 KP, 6.1 CS per minute with NRG last year. That's 3 out of every 4 kills. That's a lot. He and Huhi really joining forces and making things happen around the Rift last year. Of course, NRG had a better year in 2023. And would go to quarterfinals, surprising many people, including myself. Going on that run in summer and then just continuing it through Worlds and surprising everybody and getting to the quarterfinals. So, Contracts has had a couple runs at Worlds. He's a pretty good player. Some weeks last year, he actually was one of the better junglers outright. Negative 2 share differential, which isn't actually that bad for a jungler. Kind of shows how much he carried for NRG last year. 1.24 damage divided by gold. I mean, we're going to see other junglers on here with much less ROI. Much less damage divided by gold. So not as efficient in the damage department. Maybe playing more facilitator. Contracts kind of just took the bull by the horns with NRG. Because Palafox struggled, and we'll talk about that in a second. At 15 minutes, Contracts was not ahead, though. 80 gold, 130 XP behind on average. 4.22 vision efficiency, so vision score per ward. 6 solo kills, 21 champions, 44 games. Palafox, in my opinion, took a step back last year with NRG. 2.7 KDA and only a 64 KP, so less than 2 out of every 3 kills. NRG did not fight around mid lane at all. Relatively speaking, it was a bot lane centric team for the majority of last season. 8.8 CS per minute, 2.8 share differential, 1.5 damage divided by gold, pretty standard. I wonder if we look at Dokla's numbers, how they fare, as we take it all into account for NRG last year and say, hey, Contracts, relatively speaking, really did a lot with what he was given. And then, that will affect Palafox's share differential and then Dokla, FBI, and Huhi. Palafox also behind 255 gold and 270 XP at 15 minutes. For perspective, every game he went even. There was a game he was at least 500 gold behind. And 540 XP, which, you're starting to get into a difference there. 2.65 vision efficiency, 9 solo kills, 14 champions, 44 games. We'll see how they do with Shopify. Team Wii allowed Hang to leave. Hang was the starter for Team Wii last season, and then to 2023, and then the beginning of last season, eventually replaced by Yan Zhang, and Yan Zhang ended up being let go as well. So Hang, 2.6 KDA, 71.7 KP, 5.6 CS per minute, definitely a facilitator. Not a carry-oriented player, in my opinion, and that's reflected in the stats because we have a negative 5.6 share differential. So Contracts, negative 2, Hang, negative 5.6. 0.91 return on investment, much less damage. Hell, he's got more gold than damage, which is fine for maybe a supportive jungler, a guy that's just going to play Sej and go in and try and make something happen instead of playing Brand, Nidalee, etc. On average, behind 490 gold because Hell, it was a carry-oriented meta for half the season last year, and for Hang, if he's playing Sejuani, he's going to be behind in gold, even though I think Sejuani's were able to keep up. The better ones were, but hell, if he was averaging 490 gold behind, think about every game he went even. There was a game he was behind 1,000 gold for Team Wii, which is a diffie for sure. 3.64 vision efficiency, 18 champions, 64 games. I actually had somebody in my Discord that insisted he was better than Tarzan and Tien, which is pretty incredible. SoftBank Hawks Gaming for Japan, now playing in the PCS. Represented the PCS at Worlds last year. Really surprised a lot of people being the 2 seed. Japan ended up showing, hey, we are competitive in the PCS. They made some changes though. So Courage joins. Courage played with KT, I believe it was KT, or no, I think it was KT, not KDF, in Challenger last year. That team was very good. The KT squad was excellent. 3.5 KDA, 75.1 KP, 5.9 CS per minute. So 3 out of every 4 kills, making things happen. Negative 3.7 share differential, 1.08 damage divided by gold. On average, behind 30 gold, up 50 XP. So pretty much even in challengers. You're going to have to wonder, how does that translate to the PCS, which is traditionally a region that you would say is one step below the LCK in terms of major and minor, but given the circumstances of a challenger player compared to the PCS, I think it kind of just translates pretty evenly. We see many challengers players go to Japan and the PCS and kind of just continue doing what they're doing. 3.71 vision efficiency, 6 solo kills, 20 champions, 104 games. In mid lane will be Fate. So Fate played with, I believe, DRX. He's also played with Sandbox. He's played, I believe, even in Latin America. But last year played with Bro. Replacing Karas and then splitting time with Polbay. Fate is replacing Dasher now. Dasher has retired, I believe probably to do military if I had to guess. So Fate, 2.9 KDA, 62.9 KP, and a 9 CS per minute with Bro. I mean, theoretically, there's a reason why he was a free agent. And at the same time, he was with Bro. So, I mean, that's where players kind of just stagnate or get worse. 5.1 share differential, though, so that's significant, right? He's probably dealing the most damage relative to gold in terms of team share on his squad. He was very, very effective with what he was given. Probably in part due to the 19 games he played were in summer. We saw an 80 carry sort of meta in mid. 1.56 damage divided by gold. Actually, he was behind. 50 gold, 90 XP at 15 minutes. Think about it, 9 CS per minute behind 80 carry mid lane meta. He should have been doing a lot more in the laning phase, but Bro also kind of sat on their hands. Historically, that's kind of what Bro do. They sit on their hands for the majority of games, especially the early game. 2.81 vision efficiency, 2 solo kills, and only 5 champions in 19 games, which is definitely a surprise. We'll see how he does in the PCS. I expect him to be probably upper half. Gang will play at support, replacing Vista. 2.2 KDA, 74.8 KP with Sengoku Gaming last year. Sengoku Gaming, a competitive squad in Japan historically. I don't think they ever got to an international event, but always were second fiddle pretty much to DFM. 3 out of every 4 kills though. I mean, negative 5.8 share differential, 0.75 return on investment. Pretty standard support stuff. Behind 50 gold, 110 XP. I mean, that's whatever. 1.83 vision efficiency, 15 champions, 59 games. He's been around the block for a long time. He's been playing. Anyone's Legend. So Anyone's Legend made some moves, in my opinion, that would say, hey, this team probably is in that conversation for a seed at Worlds from China. Flandre joins in top lane. Flandre is solid. Is he going to be a great player? No, but I think he kind of replaces Ale for sure. Relative to the team last year that we saw do quite well after Tabe took over. And of course, we'll go over team previews as we get closer to the regular season and beginning of 2025. So 3.2 KDA, 56.2 KP, 8.2 CS per minute with JDG. Flandre splitting time with Sheer. Being a veteran presence on that top side of the rift. Of course, that team did leave a bit to be desired in the end. But I mean, really, you look at the teams that went to Worlds, you look at JDG, those teams are all pretty comparable. I mean, a lot of people think higher of Yagao than I do, so that's a thing. Negative zero point 0.1 share differential, so pretty much even in terms of team share. 1.23 damage divided by gold, 240 gold ahead, 3 vision efficiency. Sorry, I knew that would catch me because a clean vision efficiency makes me think it might be a 3 solo kills. But so 3 vision per ward and 19 champion 61 games, and then the bigger move Tarzan in the jungle. So if anyone's legend keeps Shanks, Hope, and Kale, adding Flandre and Tarzan, this team is better than last year. Tarzan is better than Krako. Tarzan is one of the best junglers in the world. I say it and I mean it, and I was not shocked that they went to Worlds last year. Not at all, because Tarzan is that good. He is that guy. 3.7 KDA, 72.1 KP, and a 6.2 CS per minute with Weibo last season. And not only that, to show how hard he carried, he had a 1 share differential, which is going to help because it was the summer meta when he played, and the summer meta was carry-oriented junglers. But you're not going to find, not every jungler is actually positive in the share differential, even during that carry-oriented meta. Tarzan offered a lot more than many junglers did for their teams, and in part, he was the reason Weibo even got to where they did. 1.4 damage divided by gold, very high because of the meta. 25 gold difference, 3.2 vision efficiency, 17 champions, 81 games. I mean, anyone's legend is going to be a very, very good team. I don't think another team has to struggle for AL to get in there. I think AL could be very competitive and get the job done because they have the players on paper to get the job done just outright. So that is a thing, but of course, like I said, we'll reconvene and talk about that more when we get closer to the regular season. So thank you for watching. If you like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.